So approximately 5,500 years ago, during the Sumerian Egypt invasions, human DNA was scrambled, unplugged, and there was human memory wipe by the negative aliens, if you want to call it Annunaki or fallen angelics. There's been 3 memory wipes, and this was the latest one. And so how did they do this, and why did they do this? So they did this by taking over Stargate 4 in Egypt. And if you take over Stargate number 4, which is the heart chakra, dimension 4, DNA strand 4, they created an artificial 5D wormhole in Saqqara, Egypt. And they started to run, whoever controls a Stargate controls the flow of information that comes through that portal, and they started running scrambled codes into the planetary morphogenetic fields. And so these scrambled codes literally would interfere with the fire lettering in the DNA strands of human beings. So it scrambled the human race memory, and humanity in essence got cut off from dimensions 4, 5, and 6, got cut off from its memory. And every DNA strand actually holds cellular memory. So it forgot. It got cut off from its higher sensory perception. It got cut off from its soul. It got cut off from its natural ascension timelines. And now they scrambled the human DNA, and they made humanity forget 5,500 years ago. And then they started creating and promoting a false history. So they rewrote history, and they started saying that the most ancient records are the Sumerian tablets from 5,500 years ago. And they started promoting a false father god religion, and that the Jehovian, Annunaki, that's where the word Jehovah comes from, are the creator gods of humanity. So in essence, they took over Stargate 4, scrambled the human DNA by running scrambled codes, wiped, blank slated human memory, and then they started promoting a false father god religion such as Jehovah and the Anunnaki. The fallen draconian-based Roman Catholic Church started to get involved as well, and they started indoctrinating humanity by taking over and influencing through the church the political environment and the leaders of that time into patriarchal domination, violent religions, sexual misery programming, and recycling of souls on the astral plane, and many other modalities and methods they instituted to start a mind control plan for patriarchal domination and continued enslavement of all of humanity. And let me remind you, they're doing this because through repeated free will choice, they cut themselves off from source. And if you cut yourselves off from the source of all energy, you need to parasitize energy, put yourself as a false creator god, change the base 12 code to base 10 code, and create mind control programs, because whoever controls the mind controls the soul. And they're feeding off of the fear and the energy that they're creating through elaborate mechanisms. And so this plan is, continuously running these mind control programs, and it's culminating into the proposed plan of 2030, the One World Order plan, which, Klaus Schwab and his homies meet in the World Economic Forum to discuss every year. So the fallen angelics also utilized humans to write the Bible. Let me repeat that. The fallen angelics utilized human beings to write the Bible at the Council of Nicaea, and who was there? Do your own research. The Church of Rome represented all of these Jehovah and Anunnaki. They all came together, and they chose 80% truth, 20% distortion, and to create a manuscript, which is the most popular book in the world, to religious mind control from the Jehovian Anunnaki. And they wrote the Armageddon software and crucifixion implants to block the pineal gland, to institute fear, and to make angelic humans give their energy and power outside of themselves to a false creator god. And they did this by inserting holographic inserts to project into mind control using negative alien technology. The Draconians from the Orion group also infiltrated the Church of Rome, and they used the false crucified Christ figure, false father god religion of the Jehovah, to wage psychological and spiritual warfare and mind control and brainwash humanity through religious fear, persecution, ultimately to try to get them into enslavement. And check this out. The Armageddon story in the Christian Bible, as discussed in the book of Revelation, is based on the Atlantean cataclysm. Remember Atlantis, there was a fall of Atlantis. This cellular memory is still alive in celestial human beings. And so the Armageddon story in Revelation is based on the Atlantean cataclysm and its reptilian software being used to torment humans from their cellular memories of Atlantis and Lemuria, where massacres happened in Lemuria and Atlantis. And so we have this cellular memory. Though they cut the 4th, 5th, and 6th stranded DNA off, they're using the biblical story of Revelation to reawaken that fear-based terminology of Armageddon to try to once again control humanity and feed off humanity through fear. Good news, this 26,000 year cycle, dark age, where we forgot, where we were told that there's false creator gods, father god, patriarchal domination, is slowly starting to unwind, because the truth, we're on another cycle now. We're entering to another cycle, and the core frequency of Mother Earth, the Schumann resonance, is increasing. Some call it the golden age, the return cycle to source. And as this starts happening, we start to remember. And in the ceremonies that I actually facilitate, the heart protocol, some people are starting to remember their Atlantis and reawaken their Atlantis cellular memory. For every DNA strand that is accreted, they start having a cellular memory. And people in the middle of their ceremonies are literally saying, I'm having a DNA strand upgrade. And their higher sensory perception comes online. Their cellular memory that was wiped from them starts coming back online, and they start remembering. And people are having visions of flying into Atlantis on spaceships. People are having visions of the times they talk to dolphins. People are having visions of the time of as a high priestess in Atlantis. And we're starting to remember and starting to actually rewrite these past timelines into a timeline that Atlantis is still rising. And we are remembering that we are who we've been looking for. We do not need a middleman, a religion, or a guru. G-U-R-U. And we're starting to rebalance our matriarchal and paternal beings into one, and remember our codes that we are source. All things flow from source, all things return to source, and all things are now bathing in source. And the sacred law of one and the law of holarchy, not hierarchy, is coming back, because eventually the truth will always be revealed. And higher oscillation entrains lower vibration, and love wins. Shout out to Lisa Renee for transcribing this information on Ascension Glossary. New Earth, let's go.